A young and a successful executive was traveling down a neighborhood street in his new sleek Jaguar. He was watching for kids running out between parked cars. Now, as his car passed, no children appeared. Instead, a brick sailed out and bang smashed into the Jaguar side door. He slammed onto the brakes and immediately stopped. The angry driver then jumped out of the car, grabbed the nearest kid, and pushed him up against the parked car, shouting, "What was that all about? And who are you? That's a new car, and that brick you threw is going to cost you a lot of money. Why did you do that?" The little boy was apologetic. He said, "Please, sir, please, I'm sorry, but I didn't know what else to do." He pleaded, "I threw the brick because no one else would stop." With tears dripping down his face and off his chin, the youth pointed out to a spot just around the parked car. "It's my brother," he said. "He fell out of the wheelchair and I can't lift him up." Now sobbing, the boy asked the stunt executive, "Would you please help him get back onto the wheelchair? He's hurt and he's too heavy for me to lift him up." Moved beyond words, the Jaguar driver hurriedly lifted the handicapped boy back into his wheelchair, then took out his handkerchief and dabbed at the fresh cuts the handicapped boy had due to its fall. "Thank you, and may God bless you," the grateful child told the stranger. Too shook up for words, the man simply watched the boy push his wheelchair-bound brother down the sidewalk towards their house. It was a long, slow walk back to the Jaguar. The damage was very noticeable, but the driver never bothered to repair the dented side door. He kept the dent there to remind him of a very powerful message he had just learned. Don't go through life so fast that someone has to throw a brick at you to get your attention. Friends, do we have the time to listen? Can we hear the silent cries of others? We live in an era in which we are becoming insensitive and indifferent. Paradoxically, what makes a feeling of indifference unique is that it is essentially the feeling of not feeling. Whenever I think of the word indifference, I am reminded of my visit to the Dachau concentration camp in 2019. My heart feels heavy every time I think about the Holocaust. Listening to the chilling facts from experts at the camp and personally viewing the gas chamber, the showers, the torture chambers and incinerators helped me resonate with two great personalities who spent 7 years each at the concentration camp and who both spoke on the perils of indifference. Now, Elie Wiesel was a Romanian-born American writer, a professor, and a Holocaust survivor. He authored over 57 books, written mostly in French and English, including a bestseller known as Night, a work based on his experiences as a Jewish prisoner in Auschwitz. Elie Wiesel, aged 15, with his family and the rest of the town's Jewish population, was placed in one of the 2 confinement ghettos that were set up. Now, immediately after they were sent to Auschwitz, his mother and his younger sister were murdered. Wiesel and his father were selected to perform hard labor so long as they remained able-bodied, after which they were to be killed in the gas chambers. Wiesel recalled the shame he felt when he heard his father being beaten and was unable to help. The camp was finally liberated by the US Army on April 11, 1945. Now, the Nobel Peace Prize recipient Elie Wiesel delivered a speech somewhere in the month of April 1999 at the White House as part of the Millennium Lecture Series titled The Perils of Indifference. He said, while in captivity he and those who were with him felt abandoned and forgotten, they felt the sting of indifference. To be indifferent to the suffering is what makes the human being inhuman. Wiesel felt that indifference is always the friend of the enemy, for it benefits the aggressor, never his victim, whose pain is magnified when he or she feels forgotten. As Wiesel puts it, we must take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. The second great person who spoke on the perils of indifference was the German pastor Martin Niemöller. Now, Martin Niemöller was a submarine commander in World War I. He was a strong nationalist and a conservative, and he was a pastor at a very prominent church in Berlin. Now, he initially supported the Nazi before worrying science propelled him to criticize Hitler from the pulpit. In 1937, he was arrested for his opposition and he spent almost 8 years in the same concentration camp. Now, after the Holocaust, Niemöller called for acknowledgement of the German guilt in his preaching. He was talking specifically to the German people, the ones who stood by and watched as the Nazis rounded up innocent people and marched them to ghettos, or even worse, attacked them in the streets. Martin Niemöller became well known for his poem, which goes as follows. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for labor leaders, and I did not speak out because I was not a labor leader. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Friends, as we go through life, we see the pain and the chaos, and we try to move on with our lives, but we can't afford to wash our hands and act like there's nothing wrong. Don't wash your hands. Instead, put them to work, making a difference. Napoleon once said, "The world suffers a lot, not because of the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of the good people." Friends, in many cases, people sit back and decide not to say anything when something really needs to be said. However, not speaking up sometimes is considered as your approval. Everyone bears a responsibility to right the wrong of social injustice. We must stand up for what we believe in and be a voice for what's important to us.